Hey guys, Greg with BTOD TV and BTOD.com. In today's stability test, we're going to be taking a closer look at the NewHeights XT. Now, if you haven't had a chance to watch these videos before, we like to look at a standing desk stability, both front to back and left to right, rocking or wobble. We apply different weights and check the desk stability at different heights. Now, if you'd like to learn more about why we pick these weights and the heights, I highly recommend that you check out the video linked in the top right-hand corner, which is Standing Desk Stability Explained. With that, let's go ahead and get started with the tests. Before we go ahead and jump into our first test, we want to talk about a couple things. Number one is the setup. As you can see, the desk does have cinder blocks, a small dumbbell, and the weight of the surface to hit that first 100-pound mark. This is going to be the first of 3 different weights that we test. Now, the NewHeights XT does have a nice large range. It starts at 24 inches, will end at about 51 inches. This means we're able to look at 4 specific heights with the 3 different weights applied to it. Now, we're gonna go ahead and just start right now at the bottom height. You can see with this 100 pounds at the lowest point. When we do the first test, which we call the wobble test, you can see the desk is absolutely solid. There's no movement here, and you can see the same thing's gonna be true for the front to back. Now, when we take this up to the next height, which is 39 inches, which is the standard or average, I guess you could say, height for a female in the United States, we're gonna see how the desk performs at that height. So we'll bring it on up. Now, one thing you'll notice about the XT, it does have a traditional cross support between the legs. It also has a wire management channel, which is used as a cross support as well underneath the surface. So both of these things combined will really help with the stability on this desk. And you'll see it here as we do the wobble test. At this height, the 39 inches, it's rock solid. There is zero movement. Same thing with front to back rocking, no movement here at all. We'll take it up to 42 inches. Now, 42 inches is actually the average height for males in the United States. We'll do the same thing here. As you can see, at 42.5 inches, zero wobble on this desk. Front to back, maybe a tiny bit of movement, but it's still really solid. Now, the last height that we check on standing desks is the max height. So for this particular desk, again, it's about 51 inches. This is going to be the least stable for all standing desks. This is where you'll see the most movement, and you can see the XT, it almost has, I don't even think it has really any movement here at the max height. So both of those cross supports are really helping a lot. Now with this desk, you can see front to back, this is where you're gonna get some rocking. And this is, again, because the columns are fully extended, this is the least amount of overlap you're gonna have in the columns, so it is the weakest point. So left to right wobble, really solid front to back, that's where you start to see your motion. We're gonna bring the desk back down, and then we're gonna apply 200 pounds to the surface and show you what that looks like. So our second test is a 200-pound test. You can see we've got the 6 cinder blocks now on the surface. We're gonna go ahead and run through the same thing. So wobble first, absolutely nothing. Front to back, same thing. Super solid at the bottom. This is true for almost every desk we've ever tested. We'll now move this up to 39 inches. Now 39 inches, we'll do the same thing here. And much like 100 pounds, 200 pounds really doesn't change anything. There's zero movement there. Front to back, solid at 39 inches. We'll jump up to 42.5. And you can see, with all my might, I mean, this thing is rock solid left to right. There's literally no movement there. Now, front to back, again, this is where you're gonna start to maybe see a little bit of movement, but you know, front to back at 42.5, there's still plenty of overlap in these columns, so you don't really see movement there yet. It's when you get this thing all the way up, maxed out around 51 inches, is where you'll start to see that movement. But at max height, 200 pounds, and this thing is rock solid left to right. Now front to back, you can see this is where, again, the overlap in the columns is going to come into play here. So at max height, this thing front to back isn't going to be great. This is where you're going to see that movement, and you can see it in the columns. So we're going to go ahead and bring this back down. And we're gonna test max capacity, which is 325 pounds, and we'll run through all the different height ranges as well. So for our final test, we've got the NewHeights XT maxed out. This is again 325 pounds. We'll go ahead and check it out at the bottom height here. And again, super solid. It's gonna be the same way front to back. At the bottom height, there's no movement. We'll jump up to the 39 mark. Nothing there either. That is just super solid. Front to back, 39, nice and solid as well. 42 and a half. There's just nothing left or right. This thing is just a tank. Now front to back, with all that weight, you can get it rocking some. So there's a ton of weight on the top now, and you can see you can get it rocking. You couldn't get it there with 200, but with 3 1/4, it's definitely possible to get it rocking. And now at max height, even with 325 pounds, I mean, you can get it going, but I mean, it's still super solid through the whole frame. Now front to back, we know that this is gonna have motion here. You can see it doesn't take nearly as much to get that going. I can push it with one hand. When it's fully extended up here, I can get this thing rocking back and forth. So, you know, when we look at, I'll just leave it up, but when we look at the NewHeights XT and we look at stability for this particular model, I mean, left to right wobble is for sure the most stable that we've tested to date of any of the desks. So if you've looked at any of our wobble meter stuff, this one rated the highest for left to right, and you saw it in the video, even with all this weight on there. Really no movement through all the different ranges. Now front to back, that's gonna be its weak point, especially when you get up into the higher ranges at like maxed out. There is motion there, and you know, that's an overlap in the columns issue that unfortunately you really can't get away with these standing desks, even desks like the XT, which are stable standing desks. So hopefully this video was helpful, gave you a better idea what to expect if you're looking at the NewHeights XT as an option for you, especially if you're a taller individual, because you will be using the desk at this higher point. If it was helpful, help us out, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We got a ton of these standing desk stability videos coming out, which you've asked for, so I hope that you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future content. Thanks a lot for watching.